Coming up, the university has changed its masking policy once again.
Man, it's just so freeing.
Find out if you are still required to mask up on campus.
And Black women are dying at the highest rate during childbirth. We'll break down why that may be and what's being done to change that.
Think back to that day that changed your life. Okay. We'll take a look at more student reactions as they find out Syracuse University can be their new home.
All that plus your weather and orange sports coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill. Right.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pajong Lee. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Sydney Orr. Here's a look at what's going around campus this morning. Happy birthday to Syracuse University. SU is now 152 years old. And that was the Mandarins a cappella group singing at the celebration yesterday. And Chancellor Kent Suvarud cutting the birthday cake and sharing a little bit with Otto. It was National Orange Day, and this video is from the Alumni Association's Facebook page. All Syracuse alum everywhere are encouraged to wear orange on National Orange Day each year to show their pride in our school. And that is the perfect way to lead into this, the future of Orange Nation.
One. No, I'm gonna go. Okay.
And how great is that? It's from the Syracuse University's Twitter account. It's just that moment of sheer joy you get when you find out you first get in. And Provost Gretchen Ritter says that 41,000 people have applied to get into SU as undergrads. And she says that while proportions of students of color are slightly up, the amount of international applicants is down. But it looks like students are more and more anxious to join in with us. The number of tuition deposits for fall of this year are up 13% over this time last year.
We have a new Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion. Meet Mary Grace Almondrez. She begins on June 1st. She comes to SU from the University of Rhode Island, where she was the Associate Vice President for Community, Equity, and Diversity, and the Chief Diversity Officer. We're still recovering from spring break around here, but there are some changes on campus that have happened before spring break.
R.I.E. Jagney joins us live from campus to tell us about the latest mask mandate on campus.
Do I go? Thanks, Sydney. With many of us returning from international trips, the school has decided to make masks optional for us vaccinated students. I spoke to some students around campus to see how they feel about the new mandate.
To get rid of these mandates eventually, but I do question the timing of it because we have everyone coming back from spring break, and if there was ever a time where you could get this to spread again, it would probably be right about now. So I do wonder if maybe we could have waited a week or so. I understand the desire. I want it to be no masks as soon as possible, but I want us to be logical.
Oh man, with them being optional, I feel like what better way to live your life than making your own decisions, to be honest. If I can go to class and some days I don't have makeup on and I want to wear my mask, and for health reasons of course, then I'll wear it. But then on days where I just want to breathe, after climbing up the stairs and I can't breathe, like taking my mask off, it's just man, it's just so freeing. I love it.
I feel a little uneasy now. Like, I don't know, I'll go in the building without it, but for the most part, when I sit down in class or I'm at work sitting, I always feel like I'm missing something. Like, I don't know, my program went to LA over spring break and we came back immediately and went straight to class with like a day in the middle. And a lot of students did the same, whether it was for vacation or for class. And so it just doesn't make sense that there was no required test, but we were just like put back in with the option to not have it.
Right now, there are 39 active cases on campus. If at any time you start to feel like you're experiencing COVID symptoms, the Dome offers rapid testing on weekdays and at Kimmel on the weekends. For more information, visit the Syracuse University website. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Aidine.
Spring break has come and gone, and it flew by a bit too quickly if you ask me, but many students were on vacation over break, and our executive producer traveled with the Newhouse International reporting class to Israel.
REP Kritzia Williams joins us live in the studio to tell us how the trip went. So Kritzia, how's that jet lag treating you?
You know, I've been pushing through it, and I can confidently say that every tired moment has been worth it. Our international class traveled to Israel for spring break, and to say we had a jam-packed schedule would be an understatement. Traveling from Jerusalem to Metula to Tel Aviv, our trip was amazing. But I don't want you to just hear it from me. I spoke to my classmates about their favorite part of the trip. Take a look.
The week we went and we toured Rawabi. And I think that was my favorite because I've never seen a city like that's been completely built and like starting fresh. So that was really cool to be able to witness.
Probably the old city in Jerusalem, for a couple of reasons. I mean, being Jewish myself, it was neat to go to the Western Wall. It's my second time there, and be able to pray there was something pretty special. But also as a, a bit of a history buff, seeing the Church of the Holy Sepulchre where Jesus was apparently crucified and also resurrected was pretty neat. So,
going to Metula, we learned about the Israeli-Lebanon conflict, and we rode right on the border. We met a guy named Yaniv, and he had a great story. He had like a hunch that war was gonna happen, and he heard people digging tunnels under his house, you know, and the government didn't really listen to him, and next thing you know, they were at war. So hearing that story really stuck with me.
We met with a woman who did a lot for her daughters and their education. She went against her husband and their community, really. It was in their traditions to allow their daughters to stop going to school after 6th grade, and she did not accept this. And it really ostracized her in the community and, you know, kind of put a rift between her and her husband, but she saw the bigger picture and she wanted what was best for her daughters. And I thought that was really inspiring, considering like it's different for people in other cultures and things like that. So it was really inspiring that despite, you know, everything that she went through, that she stuck to her morals and what she wanted for her kids.
I think the idea of like a group of students came to Israel and we study and live and eat together for like whole 10 days is just like a fantastic thing for me because I haven't had the similar experience before. Very interesting. So I guess it's just a very good memories.
My favorite part about the trip has been connecting with all my amazing and brilliant classmates. We hang out together every week on Tuesdays, but this past week has allowed us to really like build relationships and get close to one another, and it's warmed my heart.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I have so many favorite parts of the trip, but my top 3 would have to be the food, people we met, and of course being able to experience a different culture. I can confidently say that this will not be my last time in Israel. I'm Kritzia Williams for Mornings on the Hill. Back to you.
And while some of our students were exploring the world, our Mornings on the Hill reporter Imani Clement joins us live to explore the dangers personal bias can bring to healthcare right here in Syracuse.
Thanks, Sydney. Systemic racism has long played a harmful and often deadly role in the medical treatment of Black women. Recently, I spoke to an employee at the Sankofa Health Center who wants to see these circumstances change for the better. Asada Bey has a passion for helping new moms. In fact, she is a mother herself. Bey works at Sankofa Health Center, a resource that strives to not only provide birthing services for Black mothers, but raise awareness on issues plaguing the Black community.
So we have lots of programming that we do to like community outreach and all that. Of course, we have doula, community-based doulas. We have yoga, we have childbirth education classes, yeah.
The administrative assistant at Sankofa, Winston Scott, is aware of the benefits that Sankofa brings to the South Side and the Syracuse Black community.
And I think for the Black community, especially on the South Side, needs a lot of help. And like seeing the folks who come, walking on the streets and whatnot, like it just makes you like, dang, I want to actually put my best foot forward and help out my people in this community. So I think Sankofa is like in a right spot because like in the heart of the South Side.
According to the CDC, Black women are nearly 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications than white women.
Other women are dying too, but we do know that Black women are dying in higher rates. yeah, really compared to especially white women, but Hispanic, everyone else, yeah.
There is proof that implicit bias does lie within the healthcare system. A National Institute of Health study recently found that white medical students and residents believe that Black people perceive pain differently, a notion that has led to dramatic differences in the pain assessment and treatment of Black patients.
It's really sad that we have to advocate and scream that we have needs too. We look at research and it's completely ridiculous that and I think that's where it comes from, this idea that Black people don't feel pain the same way that white people do, which is completely absurd. I don't know, I can't solve that battle at this point, but I'm trying.
Asada is trying, and Sankofa is trying as well. Recently, Sankofa hosted New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand at an event to address and push legislation in favor of this fight. For NCC News, I'm Imani Clemens. And Senator Gillibrand introduced the Maternal Care Act to the Senate last April. The bill proposes grants to not only fund implicit bias training, but to also open state pregnancy medical home programs. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Imani Clemens.
Coming up here on Mornings on the Hill, we'll take a look at the weather for today and the rest of the week as we see rain and shine and more snow.
And coming up, we also want to let you know that if you ever wondered who was the source behind all that auto energy, stay with us. We'll take a look under the suit. We've got this year's big reveal and much more right here on Mornings on the Hill.
Every year, the seniors behind Otto the Orange are revealed. So, drum roll please.
Senior Auto Reveal.
Salvatore Pepe. Camille Giuliano. And Mariah Humiston will be saying goodbye to the suit this year. Anyone who puts on the suit is sworn to secrecy, and now these three seniors can finally let it out. Our very own Mariah told the campus website that her favorite moment was getting the opportunity to bring joy to people's lives as Otto.
I'm personally a fan of the snow, but I don't mind it at all. But I do know a lot of you guys want to know if the snow is finally gone for good.
I sure hope so. Gabriel Vega is here to tell us all about the forecast for this week.
Before we talk about the snow, though, the birds woke us up this morning. They were pretty loud, but it's nothing like Alfred Hitchcock's film. They're just singing. But yeah, if you can hear this, let's listen to them right now. So the birds are coming back to central New York. It's that time of the year. And yeah, they're just coming back from central New York. And the theory that Bird Nature has is that the bird can't see well during that time of day. They don't have enough sunlight, so they can't forage for food. So all they do is singing. And yeah, so there's also less competition at that time, no traffic, no truck, no people. And the robins are usually start the chorus, and then the other birds follow. If you want to hear them, wake up early in the morning and you'll hear them. Yeah, so the weather. It was a little foggy this morning, but it's cloudy now in Syracuse, and the sun is coming out. We're at 35 degrees Fahrenheit, feels like 33, and then there's 96% humidity. The temperature today will go up to 48 degrees, but there's a 60% chance of rain. The National Weather Service says showers will start at around 3 p.m., so be prepared for that change and keep your umbrella close. It might rain all afternoon and evening until it clears during the night. The rain is set to pick back up tomorrow between 8 a.m. and noon. It will be a great time to stay at home and do your homework. I know I love rainy days to do that. And then Sunday, we're predicting snow with 32 degrees, and then Monday, same thing with the temperatures that are a little colder at 26 degrees. And then, yeah, there's sunny on Tuesday, and that's it. Wednesday, we'll see showers, I think. So, yeah, I'm Gabriel Vega for Mornings on the Hill. Back to you guys.
patients, and it's right down the street at Upstate Hospital.
Our reporter Tessa Howard joins us now in the studio with the founder of the Cool Head Project to tell us more.
Thanks, Sydney. When cancer patients get chemo, they often lose their hair. There's a technology that can prevent that. It's called the Paxman Scalp Cooling System Machine. The founder of the Cool Head Project, Katie Moses, is here with me to talk about this morning. Thank you here for being with us, Katie.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's get into it.
Sure.
So how did the Cool Head Project start? And I know that it was connected to your dear friend, Liz.
It was. My friend Liz battled breast cancer for many years. While she was going through it, she really did not want her kids to have to face it every day just by looking at her and having her look sick. So Paxman Scalp Cooling was at Dana-Farber in Boston. She was able to go there to get her treatments and do the scalp cooling. She did not lose her hair. When she was able to switch treatments to Syracuse, to Upstate Cancer Center, Paxman actually drove a machine from Philadelphia so that she could do it here.
Now tell me about that cooling machine.
So what it does is it reduces the temperature of your hair follicles, which reduces the blood flow. So in theory, the toxins from the chemotherapy won't be able to reach it. You start by cooling for a half hour before the infusion, then during the infusion, and sometimes up to an hour and a half, depending on what time or what kind of chemotherapy it is for after the treatment.
Right. So with the project, can you tell me a little bit more about the fundraising for cancer patients with that?
Sure. So it can cost up to $2,200 to use this, and it's not covered by most insurance.
Right.
What we're doing is through Upstate Foundation, raising money for the Cool Head Project Fund so that we can pay 100% of the cost for any patient at Upstate Cancer Center that wants to use it. We're lucky. Paxman is a wonderful company. We have a great relationship with them. They reduce the cost by 25% if someone is using the fund. So on average, it costs us about $1,300 to pay for each patient. So we are constantly trying to raise money so that we can continue to pay 100% and offer it to anybody who wants to use it.
So what's next for the project for you guys?
Well, so we will most likely have another fundraiser in the fall. We usually do them in October, and we're lucky. We've been able to raise up to $50,000 we've only had 2 so far. We're fairly new. So I guess the planning will begin for that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here, Katie.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
We know a lot of you guys might still be wiping away some tears after last night's March Madness upsets, but what about our soccer fans out there?
Well, Mornings on the Hill sports anchors Jack Wallace and Tallulah Famude takes us away from the court and onto the field to talk World Cup qualifying.
Good morning, I'm Jack Wallace with your Orange Sports Update here on Mornings on the Hill. And today we have Tallulah Famude here with us to talk some soccer and the race to the final spots for World Cup qualifying.
Thanks, Jack. Now, Christian Pulisic and the United States were looking to put some daylight between them and historic rivals Mexico, but the spoils were shared in the Estadio Azteca last night after a scoreless tie.
So, given there weren't any goals last night, what happened to the U.S. offense?
There seemed to be a real lack of quality from the United States forward players, which kind of made this seem like they had dropped 2 points instead of gaining 1. Now, this is a perfect opportunity for Christian Pulisic to get United States on the score sheet. A nice little link-up play down the right-hand side, which the United States were doing all game. But with his quality, quite frankly, he whiffed at the chance.
So we're talking a little bit about the offensive struggles, but let's take a look at the defense. Now, a clean sheet is always good. Love to hold them to nothing, but what contributed to this great defensive effort?
Well, the United States did an excellent job of forcing Mexico to rush their shots, rush their chances. Chucky Lozano here he had his name written all over Mexico's attack, but even when the United States were stretched at the back, Mexico's attack proved to be all bark and no bite.
So now the United States finally welcomes back young star Gio Reyna to the pitch. Here he is right here. And how important is his impact going to be to these last few games down the stretch?
Gio Reyna gives the United States a much-needed confidence booster. Despite his young age, he is an excellent player. And now especially that Timothy Weah is out, a young and up-and-coming player for the United States. He's out on Sunday against Panama. Gio Reyna will be an important player for the United States. He has the panache to get himself out of tough situations and create opportunities for his team.
So you're talking about panache. Let's show what you mean by that. And let's check out this highlight play from Gio Reyna getting around the defenders here.
Look at the absolute technique from Gio Reyna. Look at the skill to beat not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but almost 5 defenders. And that is something that the United States need, and he's going to be an important player for them coming up.
So we're going to take a look at the current table. Now, there are only 12 games to go. Or sorry, there's 12 games in, only 2 to go. We're right at the end. United States here at second. So, of course, the question is, what does the U.S. need to do to make sure that they get in?
Now, realistically, the United States can get away with a draw in their final 2 games. The only problem is they played the 4th and 5th spot. So, realistically, the United States need to beat Panama on Sunday and hope El Salvador can do some miracles against Costa Rica. And if they do, the United States will book their ticket to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar.
Now, that's all the time we have for your Orange Sports Update. Back to you, Pajang.
Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, we're all about the music and movies. Now the Oscars and Grammys are coming up, and we get a look at this year's South by Southwest Festival, all the way from Texas.
South by Southwest returned for the first time in 2 years, and thousands of people were happy to be there, including our very own Katie Hopsiker. She's here to tell us all about it.
Thanks, Sydney. I was part of a group of Syracuse students who just completed a year-long internship. We researched startups for South by Southwest pitch competition and got to travel to Texas to see our work in action. Check it out.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie Hopsiker and I'm here in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest. This is a huge, crazy event that has tech, music, film, everything you could possibly want, and I've been to so many cool events already. I'm here outside the 2022 Banksy exhibit, and he's a really great artist, so I'll bring you along as well as give you highlights of everything that Syracuse students have been doing out here on spring break. Thank you.
With art, music, technology, great food, comedy shows, and film premieres, students experienced a week full of professional development and fun experiences after completing a year-long internship for the interactive pitch competition. At the Blockchain Creative Labs, we got to experience virtual reality, learned about the metaverse, saw futuristic art like Meow Wolf's art collective, and learned about blockchain, Web3, and even got possession of some NFTs. We attended panels by icons in every corner of the industry and had networking opportunities with both established companies and brand new startups. Students even had time to pitch their own ventures and ideas. As law student Zebediah Masango returned to Syracuse, he reflected on his time at South by. He is the founder of The Greenwood, a media company promoting Black excellence. He got valuable advice and networking while in Austin.
I think South by Southwest is a place where everybody gets it. So everybody understands what it's like to take an idea from their minds and make it a reality. So everybody you're talking to is kind of on the same page about what needs to happen to push culture forward.
In 2019, almost 500,000 people attended South by, and after a 2-year hiatus, no word on how many went last week. I know I can't wait for next year. Back to you.
Thanks, Katie. That's going to do it for us on this edition of Mornings on the Hill. I'm Sydney Orr. Be sure to follow us on social media on Twitter at Morning on the Hill and on Instagram at Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Pajang Lee. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you next Tuesday and Friday here live at 10 a.m.